I ask myself, if you have to do something every day until the day you die, what do you want to pick?
I tried out like every single thing in music that wasn't being an artist. I realized that they're all just about as hard as just being an artist yourself. And
Yeah,
being an artist it's the best job out of all of them.
the most meaningful job, I think. And then like 2 months after, Mauritian guy texted me saying, yo, your song is on Pornhub.
Oh my God.
It
I
was
think I remember this. What's up? My name is Mobiius, and this is Oscillator One. It's my YouTube podcast where I sit down with my fellow artists in the dark electronic and industrial scene, etc., and beyond, and discuss the creative process, life as an artist, kind of try to learn more about them and their journey, and then whatever other topics that we stumble into. It's been a few months since the last episode, so sorry about that. I had a huge move and then haven't really had a good place to record until now, and I've just been quite busy, to be honest. But I really like sitting down with the other artists and talking about stuff like this. So I'm going to try to do my best to make it a priority this year, and we'll see how it goes. In this episode, I'm talking to probably my oldest internet music friend, Limbo Slice. He's a producer from Korea, and he makes some of the sickest, heaviest tracks you've ever heard. And if you haven't heard his stuff, then you should go check it out now, and I'll wait, and then you can come back. Right? It was good. Last thing before we get into this, as you might have noticed from my hair, it's been a while since we recorded this, and so the info is like slightly dated. But the good news is that when we talk about our collab, it's now been finished. It's going to come out at the end of next month, and I'm super, super excited for it. So if you're watching this when it comes out, mark your calendars. And if you're watching this after May 2024, then go listen to it because, again, it's awesome. Anyway, enough from me. Enjoy.
Oscillator One.
All right. What's up, man? How you doing?
I am doing very fine.
Very good. What have you been up to?
I mean, I've been mostly like doing some personal things, like
Mm-hmm.
life things, and trying to like make more music like every other artist.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's pretty much it. Just like figuring life out and making music.
Yeah, that's the grind. As far as I know, when this releases, maybe in a couple months, we're recording in December, so I'm hoping January or February. Is this the first time that you've shown your face to the public?
On the day of the recording, yes.
Okay. All right. Well, there we go.
Yeah.
Exclusive content. Limbo
Yeah.
Slice face reveal for 1,000 subs on SoundCloud. So, for anybody who might not know you, how would you describe Limbo Slice, the project, to somebody?
Yeah, I usually describe my project as a mixture of cyberpunk, techno, electro based music
Okay.
and cinema. Yes.
All right. And from like when you started the project to now, do you think that there's been a big shift in what you're excited to do with it? Or have you stayed pretty consistent with your vision, do you think?
Oh yeah, it has definitely been changing by a lot because like when I first started out, I didn't like choose a specific genre or style to make. I just wanted my music to be out. So like I just kind of made anything that I liked, and now I'm aiming more like I'm more focused onto like making my own style and stick with it.
Yeah. Being more consistent so people know what to expect.
Yes.
In the very beginning, what was it that prompted you to create the Limbo Slice project? Like, what was the original motivation for it?
Like for my first release.
Yeah, I guess like because you've been making music since before you called yourself Limbo Slice, right?
Yeah.
Like, did you have previous projects that you were doing, or is this the first time you're like, I need a stage name, I'm going to put out music?
Oh yeah, this is my first project ever.
Okay. And so was the motivation just I need to put out music, so I need a name for it, or was there like I see a gap, I want to do something?
Yeah, it was pretty much like that. Like I just wanted to release music and then I needed a stage name.
How did you come upon Limbo Slice?
It's based on my legal name and I added like some letters to it, and then
Hmm.
it became Limbo.
Okay. And then
And
the slice.
yeah, yeah, that's the like more fun part, I think. I looked up Limbo on Spotify and Google and SoundCloud,
Hmm.
and then I saw like hundreds of artists named Limbo
Yeah.
and hundreds of songs, hundreds of like albums, playlists. So then I thought like, oh, I need like a last name for it.
Hmm. Something to make it stand out.
Yeah, yeah. And I was having like I was trying to figure that out for like quite some time. And one of my friend went like, how about Limbo Slice, as in Kimbo Slice, the boxer?
Yeah.
And I looked him up like and there was like so much like stuff on the internet from that name.
Yeah.
They were mostly like quite old, so I figured like, okay, I think I can do this.
Yeah. Even if somebody has the same name, if you're like, I bet you I could overtake them in like SEO. If I
It,
just put out enough stuff, my stuff will start showing up first.
yeah, it was kind of that, but again, the name is like not exactly the same.
Hmm.
So, like for the first, I think a year when I started the project, when you type in Limbo Slice on Google, it would like autocorrect it as Kimbo Slice.
Yeah.
But I don't think it does that now. So that's good.
Yeah. Progress.
Yeah, that is a progress.
Yeah. When I first started, there was like this, it was some sort of industrial solutions company in like Kansas that's called Mobiius with two eyes. And so when you Googled Mobius, it would just be like their Google Maps listing for their tiny headquarters. But yeah, not anymore, thankfully.
That's good. Pro
So what are your biggest inspirations for the music that you make? I guess this could be what got you excited in the first place, or like what's got you excited now.
I didn't have like a specific style that I chose, but like at the moment that when I was like making lots of music, I was listening to so much of Rez, Gesaffelstein, and Kill the Noise was one of them, and then IO.
Of
So
course.
like it was a mixture of like bass music, techno, and like a different kind of techno and like dubstep and mid-tempo.
So that's kind of what kicked it off at the start was that blend of electronic artists.
Yes, exactly.
And has that changed over time? Like, do you find yourself getting more inspired by different artists now, or are you still, uh, you know, sticking with the same sort of thing?
I mean, yes, those artists are still in my like inspiration
Hmm.
list, but that list is getting longer and longer. So now I think the recent ad is probably Madion
Okay,
and Pendulum,
nice. Fuck yeah.
which yeah, which was like quite some time ago, but still, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Pendulum are just legends, dude. That was one of the first electronic artists I discovered on like a video game soundtrack, and I was like, oh my god, what is this?
Yeah, I've been really enjoying listening to their music for quite some time. I don't know, like I don't know who to mention when someone asks me this kind of question because there are way too many of them.
Yeah, I understand completely. Are there any influences that people might not expect? You know, Britney Spears or the Wu-Tang Clan or something
Um,
like that that factor into your musical taste heavily?
I think there is. Wait, outside of electronic music, I
Mm-hmm.
would probably say new metal.
Okay.
So I would pick Deftones, Bring Me the Horizon, and Bad Omens. Linkin Park is definitely up there, and so on. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, we're about the same age, right? So that makes sense. A childhood of new metal.
Yeah.
Yes. Is that I recently, well, I guess somewhat recently, you've been incorporating more and more sort of guitar sounding instruments and things into your productions. Do you think is that consciously trying to move in a more rock direction, or is that just, maybe bringing in those other influences?
As I am like making more sounds, as in like sound design, I realize that the sounds that I like, the sounds that I actually enjoy listening to, are mostly very similar to how guitar would sound. I don't play any guitar, so I just was like, okay, let's just try to recreate guitar sound, the sound that I like in a synthesizer.
Interesting. So you're mostly doing your sound design using synthesizers versus like guitar sample libraries or something like that.
Yes.
Hell yeah. Nice. Mm, so different artists, they have different reasons for making music, whether it's, talking about heartbreak or loss, or somebody like Rez who's said that she just kind of makes music with some weird abstract part of her brain and it's not really that emotional for her. Do you think that you're trying to convey any sort of message or emotions with your music, or are you just trying to make what's fun for you?
Mm, I think at the moment I'm like in between those two.
Hmm.
So like I used to make music without much thoughts and just like create whatever I like.
Mm-hmm.
And I still do today, but I was thinking, oh, maybe like if I could add something more conscious, like a message to my creations, it would be like much better.
Mm-hmm. Do you think better in terms of how you like it, or better in terms of connecting with other people?
In both ways.
Hmm.
And
Nice.
the consistency as well.
How do you mean?
Like I always felt like whenever I make music, it's most of the times they were very different from what I've been making in the past.
Okay.
And I'm still trying to find that consistency of a style.
Yeah.
And I figured maybe if I could create consciously, it would do that.
Okay. So part of it is trying to find something more intentional about the way you're creating instead of just creating bangers, whatever
Yes.
banger seems like the most fun at the time.
I think it's more like I first create whatever banger that I like,
Hmm.
and in the arrangement part, I try to add something like more
More human.
more human and I don't know how to put this. I guess I try to make intentional decisions in the arrangement part.
Okay. Something to make it more evocative or emotional.
Yes, possibly.
Well, I'm excited. I don't know if we're allowed to talk about this. Maybe I'll have to cut it out. But the collaboration track that we started together, I'm still very excited about that.
I am as well.
Yeah. Do you think like are you well, this is going to be a question at the end, but going into next year, you said that was probably going to be part of an EP.
Yes, it is going to be.
Okay. So coming out next year, probably an EP from you. Do you have anything else that you're planning on, or what people should be looking for from you?
How do I say this? It is it is definitely different from what I have been making in the past,
Okay.
but also I'm trying to like keep some of the stuff that I've been doing in the past as well, and like use it on the EP. So it's gonna be different, but not too different, but
Oh,
also different.
yeah. Pushing into new ground, but like using some of the same sounds and
Yes,
elements to keep
yes,
it familiar.
yeah.
So it won't be just a K-pop EP.
I hope not.
Speaking of, I'm curious, like talking to people for this podcast, the people's backgrounds with music have been just like wildly different.
Mhm.
And why they got into has been like super different. So I'm just wondering, when you were a kid, what do you think is one of your earliest memories when you connected with music and you're like, oh, wow, this is like, I like this.
It was actually quite recent. I think I was 18.
Okay.
I mean, I've been learning how to produce for a couple of years before that, but I wasn't like, I didn't really feel like I was connected to the music that I was trying to make because like I
Hmm.
couldn't choose what I wanted to make.
Why not?
Um, I mean, I was trying to learn how to produce because um it felt it kind of felt right, and
Okay.
I was listening to lots of like music as well, but I just didn't feel like not much of them were like mine.
Okay.
I'm so bad at explaining.
No, it's okay. It's okay. So like it didn't feel like you were yours. You were learning to produce because you wanted to, right? It wasn't because somebody else told you to. But you
Mhm.
weren't like maybe you weren't like it didn't feel like yours. Was it because you were like imitating other people's tracks to try to learn the techniques of production?
Oh yes, yes. Yeah, that I think that is like the best explanation on that.
Okay. So it was more like because you were learning, you're just imitating instead of fully taking that idea in your head and then making it real
Yeah.
and something totally original.
I didn't feel like I was like getting inspired from other artists until I turned like 18.
Okay. And then what happened when you were 18?
Res happened.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was
Res,
sick.
I mean like I was making lots of like future-based melodic dubstep, progressive house, like that kind of stuff
Hmm.
before that. And then I found out about like most of the what we call mid-tempo or dark techno or
Yeah,
dark electro. There's like too many names of it.
I agree.
And then yeah, and then I fell in love with that immediately and was listening to that like 24/7.
Okay. And that's when it clicked. You're like, ah, this is what I want to do.
Yes.
Nice. When you were growing up, did you really have music around? Like, what led you to start wanting to produce in the first place? Did you ever learn an instrument when you were a kid, or did your parents have music on when you were a kid?
Mm, I don't think I have that much of a music background, as in like my parents were musical or something like that.
Hmm.
I did I did learn how to play piano when I was a kid, just like every other Asian kids.
It's that or violin.
Yeah, that or violin. So yeah, I did piano for like a year when I was 6,
Okay.
and then I cut my finger on accident and I had to stop playing.
You didn't cut it on the piano, did you?
No, no, not
Okay.
from the yeah, I
Okay.
didn't cut the piano. And then I learned how to play clarinet for like 6 months.
Oh, nice. I played clarinet too. Let's
You do?
go. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I played it for a few years.
I I I cannot like at all right now.
Have you tried to go back to it?
Not really.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. Like I didn't feel like there was like much use of it.
I understand totally.
So yeah, I guess that was my first music experience as a
Hmm.
kid. And then somewhere around my early teens, I started listening to the K-pops.
Okay.
And that around that time, there were TVXQ. It's the name of the artist,
Okay.
name of the K-pop band. Yeah, there were artists like TVXQ, Big Bang, Shiny, Beast, and
O-
so on.
Okay.
Like most of the K-pops I listened to when I was like really young were actually quite dark compared to the K-pop that you can find at the moment.
Really? In terms of like
Yes,
the sound of it or the messagings or both?
the sound,
Okay.
the sounds. So yeah, I think I'm like subconsciously heavily influenced by those sounds because they did lots of like electronic like synth sounds on K-pop.
Hmm.
So yeah, definitely influenced by those.
All right. Is that like the electronic K-pop sort of thing? Do you think that's what brought you to like uh American and I guess UK electronic music styles? Was that kind of the gateway into it?
No, that comes a little bit later, a
Okay.
little bit after. So that's when I like got into like listening to music, and then my sister bought me like gave me her used MP3 player with some of the musics in there still, and she was listening to so much like metal stuff,
Okay.
as in like metal and like punk rock. Like Sum 41 was there, Linkin Park was there, Muse was there, Green Day was there. So I listened to those like in my like early teens.
Hmm.
Uh, Shortly after, I found Knife Party and Skrillex at the same time.
All right.
So,
The
so I yeah
dubstep
yeah
revolution.
yeah. I think that was the first time I was like, oh, I like electronic music.
And it's funny. I remember when like that 2011, 2010-ish wave of dubstep was coming out and getting popular, which I guess is like bro step now.
Hmm.
Um, there was a lot of kids in my high school because it's very divisive. Everybody's like, "Oh, we need to find the sickest, filthiest dubstep drops on like YouTube or whatever." And then the other kids are like, "Dubstep sucks. I don't like it." And then there was like, I feel like the metal kids that I knew were like kind of half and half because half of them were like, this isn't guitars, this isn't rock. There's like, fuck this. And then the other half was like, this is basically just like metal, like metal breakdowns and uh, things like that of a very similar structure.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think there's a lot of crossover appeal, especially with that super aggressive sound. Um, so how long have you been producing for?
How old am I? Yeah, I just turned 25,
Okay.
so it's been 7 years, I would say.
Okay, word. So it was
Yeah,
like you started
seven.
after the this discovering the Skrillex and the Knife Party and all that. And but when did Res come out? 2017, 18,
16, I think.
16.
I found her on 2016, if I
Okay.
remember.
All right, word. So is that like to the like, the challenge of picking up a DAW and learning about all of the production techniques and like music theory and all that is like a big hill to climb. Was there anything that was like the spark where you're like, all right, I'm gonna do this I'm gonna learn this really hard thing now?
When I first started out, it was more of like, okay, I'm gonna have to be an adult someday, and
Mm,
like have to have some kind of skill.
okay.
So I need to work on that like either immediately or after I go to university.
Hmm.
And I've been thinking like what to do in my life, and then I felt like, oh, if I do music as a work, the at least the work itself shouldn't be like as bad as other jobs.
Yeah. It's even if it's like producing for somebody else, it's still better than working an office job.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah. I actually completely understand that. I
Hmm.
I never thought I could be a producer. Like in college, I was like, do I want to do this, this? Tried out a bunch of shit. It was all boring. I didn't like it. Or it was interesting, but then you think about doing it every single day for the rest of your life, and you're like, oh no, that's not good.
Yeah.
So I tried out like every single thing in music that wasn't being an artist, like doing like live production, doing sound, for live shows, sound for recording studios, trying like artist management and like all the things you can do around music that aren't music. And I realized that they're all just about as hard as just being an artist yourself. And
Yeah.
being an artist is the best. It's the best job out of all of them. All those other jobs revolve around the
It's
artists.
the most meaningful job, I think.
I agree.
So yeah, like I questioned myself. I asked myself, if you have to do something every day until the day you die, what
Mhm.
like what do you want to pick? What's the less shitty one that you
Yeah.
want to do?
Yeah. Well, I think we chose right. I hope we chose right.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, like compared to what I thought making music as a job to now,
Hmm.
it was I wouldn't say it was the best choice ever.
It's
It's
not the
like
easiest.
yeah, it's definitely not the easiest. Like making a living out of it from music is definitely challenging for like most of the artists that I know.
Absolutely. But
But it is definitely the most meaningful stuff
yeah,
that I could do.
nice. Nice. Well, yeah, man. It's been a pleasure. I think you are my I think you're the person like other producer that I met online that I've been talking to the longest out of like anybody that I've networked with online that's in like the same sort of scene. So, it's been
I think
it's
yeah,
been
I
a
yeah, I
pleasure watching you grow because I think we first started chatting. I didn't have any songs on Spotify or like any followers. I think I maybe had a couple songs on SoundCloud, and that I don't even. How did we meet? How did we start talking? Do you have any
honestly
idea?
I don't remember, but that's what makes the great friendship.
Yeah,
You don't remember how like you meet your friend.
yeah, but it happened and it worked. Maybe it could have just been like a matter of finding one of your tracks on SoundCloud and being like, "Whoa, this is sick. I want to produce as good as this guy. Gotta do it."
I'm not like too happy about what I released in the like first year of producing.
Nobody is.
No, yeah.
I think it's just how it goes.
I'm not too happy about my first release. And
What was your first official release?
I think it's the Confess from that I released on Morton.
Yeah, I remember. That one, is it? It's still one of your top tracks, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And there's a story about it.
Do tell.
I think it has been around like 8 months after the release.
Hmm.
Morton did a really good job and it got into like almost 200,000 streams on Spotify,
Mm.
which was huge because like it was my first release ever and it was doing that great.
Yeah.
So I was already like very satisfied with the results.
Mhm.
And then like a few months after, Mauritian guy texted me saying, "Yo, your song is on Pornhub."
Oh my God. I
Because
think I remember this.
he's been getting comments on YouTube saying, "Oh, I'm here from Pornhub."
So,
So I
so for people that don't know, what was yeah, tell the rest of the story.
yeah, I think I'm not sure if like it was on the Mauritian channel,
Hmm.
like it was like some of the other channels that featured my music.
Hmm.
But definitely some of the Mauritanian people at the moment, uh, their music was on.
Okay.
I mean, it still is, I
It
think.
was like in the background of a video or something, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Well, hey, viral growth is viral growth, I guess.
I actually like it was it was in my bucket list of music career.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because like when you think about it, most of the videos
Hmm.
gets like millions of views.
Yeah,
So when your music is on it, you're getting like millions of streams.
that's true. It's like a lot of new ears that might like it. Free
There's a
promotion.
lot yeah, there's a lot of traffic going on that website.
That's true.
Definitely.
That's true. Huge percentage of internet traffic.
Yeah.
So, well, there you go. Early bucket list item just checked off with the first release.
That was a huge win. I think that's when the song I wouldn't it didn't go viral, but there was a comment on the video asking for the tracks.
Hmm.
There was my track and some other people. And yeah, people found that my music through that comment, and the stream has gone up by a lot. I think the number almost like tripled from that.
Damn. Damn. One day, one day I'll get that sweet sweet placement. We'll see. I totally understand the feeling of like an early release being frustrating and also like successful,
Mhm.
but you know like my first real release, I guess I count as Smolder, and it was like it was a double single with this other song called I Need You, and we had it switched because I Need You was supposed to be the lead one because I was like, this is more accessible, people will like this more, nobody wants to hear my voice on a song, we'll just tag that on as like a second, like a an afterthought sort of thing. And of course the opposite happened, and it was my top and most streamed song for until very recently.
I
uh,
feel like Smolder sounds more like you. I I think that's what people liked.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out what they liked. I don't think I've ever had a follow-up song on a label outperform my first song on a label. And it's sort of like feels like a curse. If they do well, I'm not complaining, but sometimes it's like, you know, listening back to the mix, I'm like, oh, the mix could be so much better, this and this. And I'm like, here's this new song. I like it more. And then it's like, does okay.
Yeah, I completely feel that. I feel like some of the songs I feel like they're the best song that I've ever made. It has the most perfect mix, master, and the arrangement is great. The sound is, I think, like one of the greatest. And people are like, nah,
Yeah, it doesn't hit. You went off on a while doing just purely self-release, right?
yes.
For a while. Is that something you think you're gonna stick with, or are you trying to get back into the label side of things, just as far as getting exposure for your music?
I think that is something I picked up from One True God.
Hmm.
I was like when we were doing a collaboration, I think I was asking him lots of questions.
Hmm.
Uh, I remember him saying, just do the self-release and promote it on your own. That way, that way you own 100% of the song. And I really like the idea of owning 100% of your master.
Yep.
So yeah, I've been doing that for like couple years, I think.
Okay.
And so far, I like the results.
Okay. Yeah. It's a tricky thing. What kind of things are you doing for self-promotion? Are you doing playlist pitching, running ads, DMing people on Pornhub?
Mm. I should do that actually.
Maybe.
Maybe. Um, that was a time before TikTok and the whole like short form content thing happened,
Hmm.
and before way before when Facebook changed the like marketing thing.
Hmm.
So it was easier to just like make music, make video, and run ads.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that for most of the times, and because like it's the easiest to do
Yeah.
when you have the content. So yeah, I've been doing that for a while, and then I was like, is there a way to like send it to more people?
Hmm.
So then I started looking up how to do a playlisting thing, and that helped a lot as well. So yeah, I think it's mostly uh ads.
Okay. Like Facebook ads?
Yeah, like Facebook, Instagram ads.
Okay. Yeah.
I tried Google and YouTube ads as well, and it does draw more people compared to Instagram and Facebook. But I just didn't really think it was as worth it
Yeah.
because it's hard to draw people from Google and YouTube to your Spotify.
Yeah. Yeah. Like more it's more people are seeing it, but the engagement and quality of the audience you're reaching is not as good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tricky thing. And I've noticed it's been a while since I was running my own ads, but have you noticed any sort of like decrease in the cost efficiency? Like it used to be, you'd pay about this much and you could expect about this much back. And it seems like it's just been getting more and more expensive for the same results.
Oh yeah, definitely. Actually, I you pay more to for less results
Yeah.
these days.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Good.
yeah,
I'm glad it's not just me.
yeah, I think it happened uh, I think it was last year when Facebook changed. What was it about?
I think it was, didn't Apple come out with new security things so that like
Yeah,
they
it
weren't
was
allowed?
that when
Yeah.
Apple changed how their securities works, and then Facebook couldn't like do what they were doing before.
Harvest people's information.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shit. I mean, it's probably a good thing, but it is a little bit inconvenient. Anyway, branching into something a little bit different. A while back, you mentioned to me that you've done a few side projects, just for fun or to like let off steam from the main Limbo Slice project. Which one was the most fun for you, do you think?
I only had one
Oh, okay.
actually. Yeah, and I kind of made that because ever since I started making music as Limbo Slice, I really enjoyed making like full song,
Mm-hmm.
like EDM-ish full song. But um, I felt like it was a lot of work, which it is. So I wanted to create something without any pressure of like finishing a song and like worry about the style and like worry about how to like make artworks and videos and like promote it.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's when I created my side project, which I can just make whatever I want in a style of whatever I want
Mm-hmm.
and just like, put it up on SoundCloud.
All right. No pressure, no expectations,
Yeah.
just fun.
Mhm.
Okay, nice.
I used to call it a trash can project. You can just like scribble whatever and just like throw it back in there.
Okay. Have you changed the name or is it still that?
Oh, I mean, like the name wasn't that, but I was calling the project as like this is a trash can project. I just do whatever. Like,
Okay. Is it public? If people wanted to go and check it out, could they check out your other stuff?
Yes, but I haven't been making a lot from that for that project recently.
Okay. Focusing more on the main brand on Limbo
Yeah.
Slice.
Yes.
All right, that's
And
fair.
also I started using that side project as kind of like a work account, as in like when people ask me to produce a song for them, and when it's not a style, when it's like not, when it sounds nothing like Limbo Slice,
Hmm.
like I just put my side project in the name.
Okay, got it. Do you get a lot of client work like that? Like producing, are you ghost producing for people or are you like making beats for people or what kind of work are you doing there?
I have done producing for people, mostly rappers.
Okay.
A lot of it didn't end up coming up,
Okay.
which means I didn't get paid to like do that.
Shit.
But other than that, I did an NFT project like a couple years ago, which is like which sounds bad.
What it is what it is.
Sounds bad when you just say, "Oh, I did an NFT project," but like that that one single project was at like actually more interesting. Actually, like the most interesting music project that I ever seen.
Really? Why is that?
Yeah, it's called Project GMGN, as in like good morning, good night,
Okay.
and it's a like music art, like multimedia art NFT
Okay. Go ahead.
where the both artwork and the music changes over time.
Mhm.
So we have like a morning version of the song and the night version of the song, and also the morning version of the artwork and the night version of the artwork.
And so it's like is it a picture or is it like a video with accompanying music to it?
I think the artwork is like GIF, where it just loops.
Okay. Like a
So
light animation thing.
yeah, I'd say it's more of a video project.
Okay. What was it about that that made it so exciting to work on?
At that moment of time, I was interested in like NFTs and like how like Bitcoins work and like all that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
And then I did get an opportunity to like work on a project with this rapper that I've been listening their music for like quite some time.
Okay.
So yeah, that's like how I got started.
Hmm.
And then after that project, it kind of drew in more, I would say, clients. And then I did more work in like in that scene, I would say,
Hmm. So
in
like
the
one thing
in
led to
like
another and
yeah, in like NFT art scene. I did like the soundtrack for an animator.
I think you sent me this video. Is that like a drum and bass track?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
That was actually like my first drum and bass music that I
No, that was
that
sick.
I didn't hate as much.
That I didn't hate as much. That is story of my life making drum and bass. I've now released exactly one drum
Story
and
of
bass
my life.
song that I don't hate. God damn it, it's so
Yeah.
difficult. Yeah. It's kind of a shame with like NFTs. It seemed so promising and exciting at the time, to like have
Mhm.
digital ownership of things and for artists to be able to to profit off of their work more directly and have fans contribute to artists. It's a shame that it kind of ended up like I guess getting a really bad name and then mostly because of people scamming people and you know creating things solely because they wanted to steal money and
Yeah.
you know
It,
not
it is.
offering anything worthwhile.
Yeah, I feel like it was just like way too overhyped, way too fast. At that time, people were still figuring out like what to do with this technology. So they
Hmm.
were trying lots of other things, including scamming people.
Yes.
Uh,
Unfortunately, yes.
I don't know. I felt like I really like the idea. I think the idea of like the technology is really good,
Hmm.
but just the use of it was something that I wasn't really a fan of.
Yeah.
Because like when you buy NFT, you cannot like actually use it as much. And people try to put in as much utility as possible, but that didn't go that well, I think.
Yeah. I don't think people have really figured out how to do it. I mean, there was some, where it's like, oh, if you buy a deluxe copy of this album, of which that, maybe there's 100 deluxe NFT copies of the album, and that'll give you free tickets to shows for life, if you own this really rare digital version of the album, or like trying to link it to real world things. Um, but yeah, it all kind of fell apart. It almost feels like a dirty word talking about it now because everybody's
Yeah.
just like crypto, NFT, it's all bullshit.
Mon-
Yeah. Do you think if you had to predict, and I'm thinking that maybe in like a few years it'll come back around and hopefully be more developed, and maybe people will be a little bit less hyped just because of you know, the first time around. Do you think, if you had to predict, do you think that it might make some sort of comeback, or do you think that that's a dead end idea?
Honestly, I'm not sure.
That's totally fair answer.
I like yeah, I do want to see where that goes. And I know some people who like works in like that industry and they're like constantly trying to do like new things,
Hmm.
new nice things. So um yeah, I do want to see where that goes.
Yeah, I'm excited for it, but yeah, we'll just have to see. That's not our job. Somebody else has got to figure that out.
Yeah, we
But
just follow, I guess.
yeah, well, it would be nice with all the streaming thing, with the streaming platforms, and how difficult it is to make money unless you're touring or have a really banging merch line or something like that. It would be nice to have other ways that you could profit off of your main music project, like connect with fans who want to support you and give them something back.
Yeah, and at that moment, NFT seemed like it could solve all that problem, which it did to like lots of artists, I think.
Yeah. Some people did really well, especially I feel like a lot of 3D artists that were big on Instagram and stuff like that were able to capitalize on it and actually make a good living from their years of work
Yeah,
that they put in.
and some of the musicians did really good on there as well.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
And next time we'll be ready.
Mhm.
Um, Last couple things. I guess speaking of pictures and moving pictures and things like that, the branding for your project is like very nice and consistent. And I was wondering, are you collaborating with somebody else for this? Or are you coming up with the concepts yourself and executing them?
Uh, it's yeah, it's definitely much closer to a collaboration,
Hmm.
but I still am their client. Like I pay them to like do the work,
Hmm.
and we think about like what kind of idea, what kind of artwork should go like in that. And I do have like a very vague picture of what type of art should go in there.
Okay.
So I tell them, and like they bring amazing results that I've not like imagined.
Okay. Yeah, they all look really good. So I had to know whether you were also an incredibly talented at drawing.
I wish I could.
Yeah, I think we all do. All right.
I'm just I feel like I'm just like fortunate enough to know the artists in like my area. Yeah, the ones that I can like trust and like give works to.
Hmm. Yeah, it's always nice when you have that real world connection with somebody. Nice, man. Well, I think that's about it. We did
Okay.
it. We did it.
Then
Round two. The people wouldn't know this, but this is the second time we've done the podcast.
Yes, the first one could have been really cool.
It could have been, but
Could have been.
I was not prepared for it. So the audio, the audio setup was not ideal. But when you came to visit in Japan, we tried to record the first ever like in person one-on-one episode, but unfortunately the audio quality was not up to snuff, which is unfortunate because it's my job, so you'd think I'd know how to do this.
Don't everyone learn while doing the work?
Yeah, learn by doing, I suppose. I just need a new interface. Is the thing. It's got the one mic interface.
Yeah, yeah. I bought like when I first started like taking music seriously, I bought an Apollo Twin,
Hmm.
which way out of my budget, but I was like, if I buy this, I'll be using it. I could use it for 10 years.
Yes.
So like no upgrade needed. So I bought it and I'm really happy that I did.
Yeah. That's the like big silver one with the giant knob in the middle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Classic. Should have done that. Here I am. I've gone through like three different like entry level uh what, complete audios and a Focusrite and something else because I keep losing them or breaking them in my suitcase. So
Oh,
anyway.
I think I think my starter audio interface was Motu.
Hmm.
They were really great and they got like their new like product came out like a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah. Yeah, man. But you don't need much, just the essentials,
Yeah, same.
unless you're trying to record a two-person podcast in the same room. But we'll try again in the future if I keep doing this. Anyway, thank you so much for making time today, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, pleasure.